Hello, my name is Jay Simon for PoliSci 364, and this is my debate response post to Stacy's debate on whether Israel should stop its war on Gaza. So, going through her video, her first point that she makes is simply that they shouldn't be doing all the killing and dangerous stuff that they've been doing in Gaza. However, this is a completely one-sided argument. She doesn't address the fact that Gaza and Palestine and Hamas, specifically Hamas, um, is also doing the same attacks. Remember October 7th, 2023. This is what started the entire war that we're seeing. When Hamas ordered Hamas ordered Palestinians to march into Israel and specifically kill and target women and children. Israel is fighting back. They aren't just doing this out of nowhere. October 7th is the is what started this entire war. And the second point she makes is that Israel is a world power, and she kind of goes through a point that this is unfair because they have more power than Palestine. However, whether a country is a world power or not does not remove its right to defend itself or defend its territory. Imagine if we did the same thing to, say, Russia. If Latvia decided to invade Russia, right? We wouldn't just sit back and say, yeah, Russia shouldn't fight them back because Russia's a world power, but Latvia isn't, even though it's debatable whether Russia's really a world power anymore. But the point is that whether a country is a world power or not does not remove its right to be in a war, to respond to attacks in the slightest. Further, on top of that, Israel isn't really a world power. Israel is funded by Western powers in the same exact way that Hamas has been funded by Middle Eastern powers. Look at Qatar, look at Iran. This is where they're getting a huge sum of their money, a huge sum of their military power comes from funding from these other Middle Eastern countries. Just look back through their receipts, see who's sending the money, and you'll see that Palestine maybe isn't receiving as much money that Israel is receiving from other powers, but to say that one is world power and one isn't is just not a good argument when both are receiving funding. And she says that civilians are dying. There are documents that we have found from Hamas leaders saying to specifically target children and hospitals. They have been ordered, the Hamas military, ordered when they go into Israel to target these places that are vulnerable for civilians. Again, I don't think civilians should be dying. But when you have another country that is actively wanting to kill your country, whether you deserve that or not, you have every right to fight back. And if they're targeting civilians, you shouldn't be targeting civilians. But if civilians get hurt in your retaliation, then it's a non-argument, because that's just an issue that happens with war in such a small country, and where Hamas is hiding behind their civilians. And then finally, there's, again, sort of a non sequitur here that Stacy brings up, which is just that Israel took the argument that they were defending themselves and then ran away with it to do a lot more. Remember, the United States occupied Afghanistan for 20 years after 9/11, all right? And I'm not saying that Hamas has necessarily done a 9/11 to Israel, but what I'm saying is when a country gets attacked in the same way that happened on October 7th, in the same way that happened on 9/11, you best believe that if you truly believe that your country is in the right, that you ought to make sure that that never happens again. Thank you.